for AI Talk. This year, Deep Learning in Daba is taking place at Tunis. I'm Fatma Tmani, a reporter and the producer of AI Talk. Today, I'm not alone. I'm with my co-host Hatem Mejdi. How are you, Hatem?
Fine, thank you, Fatma.
Hatem, today we have with us a special guest, Karim Begir, the CEO of InstaDeep. InstaDeep is a leader in decision-making AI systems for solving real-world problems. Early this year, it has raised $100 million and closed the Series B round led by Alpha Intelligence Capital together with CGIB. It has headquarters in London and offices in Paris, Tunis, Lagos, Dubai, and Cape Town. Lately, the firm expanded its global presence into the United States. InstaDeep is also the organizer of the Indaba Deep Learning 2022 and the AI Hack Tunisia, the largest AI ML twin event in the history of Tunisia.
Okay, hello Karim.
Hi.
Hi. So when we search in Google for artificial intelligence in Africa, first thing we have InstaDeep coming up, and when we have InstaDeep, we have Karim Begir. So, but anyway, we need that you introduce yourself for the people who don't know very well.
Sure, I mean, first it's a pleasure, thank you for the invitation, and it's a pleasure to have everybody here in Tunisia and the deep learning happening as well. So I'm Karim Begir, and as mentioned, so I'm the co-founder and CEO of InstaDeep, together with Zohra Slim, so we're both from Tunisia. And I'm also a Google machine learning developer expert. I grew up in Tunisia and then did studies at École Polytechnique in France and also in the United States in applied mathematics at the Courant Institute of Mathematical Sciences. And InstaDeep is a project we launched in Tunis in April 2014 as a bootstrap, and essentially looking to innovate and showcase what African AI talent can do.
Great. So you are inspiring many people in Tunisia and in Africa and even in the world. Could you please share your career path and your motivation behind your business idea about your startup?
Yeah, well, it wasn't really a business idea to start with. It was more like a passion type project. Before that I did a more regular career in like modeling, mathematical modeling, risk modeling and the like. It was still applied mathematics, but it was more like working in large companies. And so I was looking to do something different, something more entrepreneurial, something also more useful to society. And this is during a semi-charity project that I met my co-founder Zohra Slim in late 2013. And we worked together. We felt we could be a good team. She's a woman in tech, a software team lead. I'm more like deep tech, hardcore AI and applied mathematics. And so together, we thought we could do some very interesting things together and potentially like develop a competitive team. And that's how InstaDeep has started. But on the early days, it was more like a passion style project, where the goal was to show that African AI talent can really be competitive, and that somehow it was being ignored in many ways. And so it was like a contrarian style project, kind of prove everybody wrong. I remember in the early days telling them, hey, we're gonna do things at the quality level of DeepMind, which at the time had just been acquired by Google, which was doing a lot of buzz, and people were like in disbelief. Yet today we are actually doing joint collaborations with DeepMind. Google invested in our company, and in many ways the dream is coming true.
Great. InstaDeep. I like the name, in fact. So, from where you get this name? So, what is the idea behind the name? And in parallel, what is the biggest strength of InstaDeep? And what is the challenge of the company right now?
I mean, on the name, really, like we realized, by doing that, essentially what the value add we bring to our partners is understanding the latest progress in research, sometimes innovation we are developing in-house, and making it useful for their business in terms of like concretely systems that scale, that deliver additional value or reduce costs in certain areas. And so the name really means, you know, deep technologies made instantaneously useful, sort of like cutting the wall between advanced research and innovation and practical deployments. And so that is what we do. And today, I mean, we are growing fast. Company is beyond 200 employees at the moment. As was mentioned, we opened our office in the US, actually twin office, one in San Francisco and one in Boston, near the MIT campus. So we are very excited by those developments. I would say the biggest challenge, I mean, it's just making sure we keep the same culture. Like as the company grows, we don't want it to be a sort of like big company kind of style environment. We want it to be always innovative, very friendly, very positive in terms of delivering value to the ecosystem, because this is important. We're very grateful to the people who supported us, especially in the early days. And in many ways, InstaDeep is trying to help push the ecosystem in Tunisia and beyond that in Africa and the Arab world towards realizing its potential and not being afraid to collaborate and compete with the very best.
Thank you. The deep learning Indaba 2022 is a great success. So I want to know why holding the deep learning Indaba and the hack is very important for Tunisia and for the AI African ecosystem.
Yeah, so we're really excited to have the Indaba in Tunisia. I think it's an exceptional opportunity for many young Tunisians. And we believe it's important because in our own story, when as a smaller company, InstaDeep went to the Indaba, which was held in South Africa at the time in 2018, so 4 years ago, we really met fantastic people from like researchers all across Africa. We met the people which we consider to be like the best in the world in AI, like the top teams of research of DeepMind and like. So in many ways, it inspired us to believe that an African AI company could actually emerge and be competitive. This is at that event also met who became the lead of our South African team, which is now a big team, Arno Pretorius. We developed collaborations that led to joint research papers. So to summarize, the Indaba accelerated InstaDeep and allowed us to understand our potential. And so a keen objective of mine at the next Indaba, which was in Kenya, in Nairobi in 2019, was to convince the the steering committee team of Indaba, which I belong to, that the Indaba is truly African, and that after South Africa and then East Africa with Kenya, we should go to North Africa, and that we would be willing to support the event in any capacity we can at InstaDeep. Me, my co-founder Zora, who is actually leading the organizing committee of the Indaba taking place right now. Many InstaDeepers, volunteers, etc. were also a top sponsor. And so I'm very, very proud of the fact that not only we convinced the organizers to come to Tunisia, and this is in itself is a performance, because you have right now the top 300, 400 AI researchers in Africa, in Tunisia. This has never happened before. 90% of this population never came to Tunisia before. So this is really meeting great people, meeting talented researchers, opening the eyes for young Tunisians, the same way the last Indaba opened our eyes. So I'm really proud of the fact that not only the Indaba came to Tunisia, but that so far everybody's having a great time.
So I want to know, was it difficult to organize these two events, and what are the difficulties that you faced?
Yeah, so we don't like it easy at InstaDeep, so we decided, hey, let's welcome the Indaba, and while we're at it and we have all our international audience, let's also do the AI Hack, which is the largest event machine learning hackathon in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. When you see this with actually participants from all across the Arab world and Africa, and so we had this crazy idea of let's do both of them together, which in itself constitutes the largest machine learning and AI event in the history of Tunisia. So what do I mean by this? I mean that when you look at the quality of the audience, the top researchers of Africa, you have also the leading tech giants, Microsoft, Google, DeepMind, Apple, Meta, Facebook Meta, everybody's here. But I want to mention, those companies sometimes have a presence in Tunisia, but never before did leading researchers in AI from this company come together to a unique event, and this is what's happening. And AI Hack is going to be a lot of fun too. We are welcoming more than 1,000 participants. We rented the whole stadium of Rades, like the covered stadium where you used to have lots of sports competitions. Well, it's going to be a machine learning competition with real data. And again, this notion of empowering young talents to believe in their potential. We actually had organized it the first time in 2019 with the support of Mr. Qais Mejri from the Tunisian government, head of innovation, and also the support of Google, and this was a tremendous success. So we're looking forward to do it again, and by doing it, allow a next generation of talents to emerge. The same way after 2019, many people thanked us after the competition because they found jobs, they found opportunities. Actually, some of them even at InstaDeep, but it led to such good vibes, such progress, and again, exchange and intellectually stimulating environment, pushing the young talents we have to believe in their potential and go and realize it. Yeah.
So even though this event is very important, it is poorly covered by the media in Tunisia and in Africa. I want to know why. Because
yeah, I mean it's a good sign. I mean, if you look at how things were in 2018, 2019, this notion that Tunisia could be a hub and a leading hub in Africa and the Arab world, this was really science fiction. But I believe that things are changing and changing in a good way. And today you have really a realization from leading engineering and school research institutes, the government as well, that Tunisia has real potential when it comes to artificial intelligence and is in fact becoming a leader already. And I hope also that the milestones that we have achieved at InstaDeep, starting as a bootstrap with very little capital, also are inspiring many other young entrepreneurs in Tunisia and beyond in Africa and the Arab world to believe in their dreams, to believe that if they work very hard and very smart in something they're passionate about and have competence about, well, they can actually reach for the stars. This is possible in today's world. And coming back to your question, it's really cool to see that, yes, the media now understand that this is important for the future. These are also positive news. It's about giving our young talent the right positive environment for them to express themselves, realize their potential. And so I'm optimistic about the future. Nothing comes easy, but if you're really passionate and work hard, we're showing that this is possible. And one of the things that makes me very excited about the future is that I'm starting to see now a next generation of talented, competitive Tunisian startups. Recent example is Go My Code, which raised an $8 million Series A. That is remarkable, building up the digital school of the future in Africa and beyond. So this gives me hope that we can really together help Tunisia rise to its full potential in deep tech innovation, in tech, and same thing for Africa.
Okay, during this deep learning in Daba, you did a workshop about math for machine learning, and I really enjoyed it. But we can feel your passion for applied math and for teaching. So my question is, why you didn't choose the academic career?
Well, we're kind of having fun at InstaDeep, actually doing research. So in many ways, it's it's an applied research center, but it's also like a competitive business. It's a little bit of both, and historically that's been my passion. in fact, it's all about impact. You can see InstaDeep and what we do at InstaDeep as being optimized for impact, doing very cool research, but trying to make it very powerful in terms of like the impact it has on the world. And we have many fantastic innovations with partners from BioNTech to Google and others. And so, yes, actually I was not supposed to do that session, mathematics for machine learning, but the teacher was actually missed her plane, and so they asked me if I was willing to take care of it. And for me, yeah, it was a big pleasure because getting back to mathematics and teaching the audience about the links between mathematics, probability theory, and modern machine learning is kind of my passion. And to answer your question also, I did lecture at university in the US for several years, and I always had that passion. And in many ways, that's exactly what we are doing at InstaDeep, living our passion and making it count.
Yeah, I saw the stars when you were teaching math. So
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think you did also in 2019 a workshop, no, about math for machine learning.
Yeah, exactly. So they came to me because I had done it before, except this time I took the materials of the presenter who was not here and sort of like took care of that in a couple of hours. But yes, I had already done it in 2018. And so it's a pleasure for me. We also did the keynote with Zohra, and also we will be presenting a session on startups, which I think is important. Many people want to learn from the experience of InstaDeep, which in many ways has been accelerated by deep learning in Daba. And we want to bring sort of this knowledge and expertise to the next generation of founders, entrepreneurs, people thinking about doing deep tech innovation. So we will be doing a session tomorrow morning on this topic.
Yeah, it's all about startups, no?
Yes, tomorrow's session is all about like startups, deep tech innovation, how to get started, how to progress, everything. So essentially like a bit of summary of the things we have learned. Yeah.
So in the InstaDeep is a fast growing company. How to keep the startup vibe? How can you keep this startup vibe?
It's by being very careful about who you hire. I think it's all about culture. It's not really about the size of the company, because you have some very large companies that are still innovating and are credible at innovation. Google, Tesla, many others. So it's really about the culture, and the culture is in many ways decided by the founders. So if the founders have an inclusive, positive culture of helping others, enforcing collaboration, enforcing constant learning, well, the company will reflect that. And obviously you want to create and enforce at any cost a culture of collaboration. So for example, we're very happy of the fact that at this Indaba, we have actually InstaDeep colleagues, not just from Tunisia, but from London, from South Africa, from the Middle East, from our UAE office, that came to help the local organizing team and contribute to the event. So this is really like the spirit. It's about constantly learning, constantly challenging yourself, but in a positive and collaborative way, and never forgetting to help the ecosystem back. This is also the lesson and what is a bit special about our company. This is not a company run to make the maximum profit. This is a company run to positively disrupt the ecosystem and showcase that massive success is possible. And massive success will come if everybody collaborates, everybody brings value to each other, and we want to be a model of that in many ways. And this is what I'm telling the team. I mean, this is not something new, even when we were a very small company, we were already doing it. But this is what I remind my team, that we are an example and that we must help others reach like the successes they want, and stay humble, because everything moves very quickly in startup. Stay focused and stay true to our culture.
So you are the CEO of a startup with many offices all over the world. How did you find your own style of leadership, and was it easy to find?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I think after a while you realize the things you're good at, and the things you're not so good at, you try to find better team members to focus on those. For example, like I am not very good at admin and organization and planning. What I love is innovation. What I love is like human collaboration, coming up with crazy ideas and then go and actually making them happen in the world, taking daring but calculated risks, sort of like doing like the scientific and strategic leadership of the company are the things, and the fun things like Indaba and AI Hack. But what is cool about InstaDeep today is that we have a very talented team, and in many ways nobody can do it all, so it's a team. I'm very proud of the fact that Zohra Slim, my co-founder, is actually running the Indaba. It's not me. I'm a key contributor to Indaba, but the boss for the Indaba is actually Zohra, and I want to credit her and her team, Sabine Ben Ali, Rim Alouche, and many others who worked very, very hard, like day and night, to make this event a success and run smoothly for all our guests. But it really takes a team. If you want to build a big project, it's not about one person. It's about a culture and everybody sort of performing at its best in the area where it's supposed to perform, while making sure that all this is beneficial to others as well.
So your recipe is to communicate the culture and well, to collaborate together.
Yes, and lead by the example. Like you know, when it's an important strategic initiative, when it's important technological breakthroughs, I am involved. When it's important ecosystem events, it's Zohra, and so on and so forth. Like leadership is by doing. It's not by telling others what to do and watching them. It's actually by getting your hands dirty and making it happen, like Zohra is doing for the Indaba, like I did on the major scientific initiatives we had, such as the early warning system, for example, which was me personally leading the teams. So if you show and you lead by example, others will get inspired and they will do the same at every level of the company. And so far, that's what we are seeing. So fingers crossed.
Good. So I was planning to ask you for hiring in InstaDeep and what is the right profile, but I think you already answered the question. So about helping others, teamwork, follow the culture. So this is like answering my question. But in the same way, can you please share your lesson learned with others, and the most, let's say, one or two strong lesson learned that changed your life during this journey in InstaDeep?
Wow, okay, it's a big question. Well, the biggest lesson learned is that you need an extraordinary patience to get to results. I mean, it's very easy now for people to see what we are doing and where we are at, and somehow believe that, you know, this was obvious or that, you know, it was meant to be or something. And that's not true. You have to literally work extremely hard for years before you can start to see the beginning of the end, like the light at the end of the tunnel. It takes an amount of determination, of focus. You almost need to be like crazy about the business to survive those early years. So that's one of the lessons learned is like entrepreneurship is much harder than it seems, but at the same time it's also very gratifying. But yes, you need to put time on your side. You need to fight all the battles, stay always optimistic. 90% plus of the initiatives you take will fail, but that's okay, because if 1 out of 10 or even 1 out of 20 is going to be successful, that might actually be enough to make the company successful. So in many ways, entrepreneurship is a lesson of stamina. It's a lesson of resisting, believing, being contrarian. And if you have that patience, good things will end up happening. And it's the same thing with acquiring clients. Most clients will turn you down in the beginning. A few might trust you. If you do an amazing job with these, more will come, and so on and so forth. It's the same notion of essentially being true to yourself. And this is why I insist on the fact that you have to be passionate about your project. Because if you are not passionate, you will get tired very quickly. And after a year or two, you will give up because you are not seeing any obvious sign of progress by then, and that might be, like deciding to quit. If you love the project anyway, well, that passion will sustain you until you start to see results.
Yeah. So a strong message to the young generation for success. I would like to ask about the ongoing project for InstaDeep or even for Karim Begir. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's an exciting time. We're very happy to actually have set up foot in the US. It's particularly meaningful for me because I studied and worked in the US for 6 years in New York City, so it's in many ways like it's a homecoming for me. So it's also a new challenge. The US is a very competitive market, we're less known, but we're very excited about it. So there is this geographical expansion. We are also very excited about novel partnerships we're building with amazing companies and developing new products. And finally, on the sort of like the AI and science side of InstaDeep, AI is happening. It's incredible what is going on. During my keynote, I shared a few examples from AI understanding text so well that it can generate high quality pictures of concepts and get it right, which is absolutely insane. From AI solving protein folding, like our colleagues at DeepMind, from AI even solving math problems with reasoning like humans. So this is all happening, and so something I'm very excited about at InstaDeep is working on scaling AI to the next level. In many ways now AI is a game of scale. You need to innovate, but you need to be able to build those advanced high quality systems that are going to make a difference. So far, no African founded AI startup has been able to do that, and I believe we are on the verge of doing it. So there are some super exciting projects going on, and also from a research output, this is one of the amazing things that InstaDeep has done. InstaDeep today is publishing innovation and research at the quality of the very best in the world. We had our first papers accepted in the Nature journals. Nature with Science is considered the two best magazines, scientific magazines in the world, the two hardest to get into. We managed to get there. So very exciting times, and looking forward to what comes next.
good. I very excited to hear that. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So what is, if you are looking to the future, what is your objective for the next 5 years, your strategy or the strategy of the company for the next 5 years?
So the key thing is to actually show that and make sure that Africa is part of the successful regions in the 21st century. As I said, AI is accelerating, but there is still this perception that AI is really a game between the US and China about who's going to dominate the world. And my message is that actually AI is extremely important for countries like Tunisia or Africa or the Arab world, because who controls innovation, AI and innovation, will be successful in this century. And the others will just be takers of technology developed somewhere else. So my goal is to make sure through InstaDeep and through all the initiatives we're taking within the Indaba, AI Hack and others, that Tunisia and Africa have their fair share of the success and incredible opportunities that AI will bring in this century. So that's what we are aiming for. And we're very excited to see some traction, and hopefully we're going to continue to push very hard in this direction.
So my last question, as I'm a bad time manager, I want to know how do you manage your time as you travel a lot, do research, and lead one of the most fast-growing and innovative companies?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Yeah, I definitely wish I had more time, but essentially I try to understand, and I think I've kind of gotten a bit better at this. Like after a while you realize as a CEO, especially as the company grows, you cannot do everything by yourself. In the early days you could do everything by yourself, but so I try to focus on where I can bring unique value to the team and to the company. Every time I see a situation where I know there is a very talented team leader we have who could do it. I will be very happy to let them do it and take the credit and visibility. So it's really about understanding where you're really adding value. And adding value is not just in economic or technical terms, it's also in human terms. So I'm really happy actually to take the time to spend some quality time with our teams, with the Indaba participants, with AI Hack, spending time in Tunisia as well, because you know, at the end of the day, AI is built by humans. AI is built by large teams. So human relationships actually matter a lot. The trust between all of us, it matters a lot if we want to be successful.
So do you have some tips for me?
The tip is, try to focus on delegating, and what you do, do it well, but don't try to do everything.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good. So I've done with my questions. I think we give you the last word to give a message to Indaba community that will see this video.
Yeah, basically, I would say it's really an exciting time. We know AI is happening. The progress over the last 3 years, since last time we had Indaba, is absolutely mind-blowing. Things that happened in these 3 years that would have been absolutely insane, and we would not have predicted or thought that this was possible, yet it is happening. So with the deep learning in Indaba, and this is true whether you're a young talent in Tunisia participating in the event, or all across Africa, and Indaba will be rotating from multiple countries, be part of it. Don't think that AI is something that's done by others and that's too far for you. I used to think that, and then I plunged into it 100%, and my conclusion is that this is the biggest opportunity you have in front of you. So make sure you seize it, and there are so many people who are willing to help you, so don't hesitate to contact us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you.
Thanks a lot. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.